podcasting for your community is about coming for the vibe and staying for the format. Does your podcast do this? You're listening to the Vic Podcasters podcast, your bite-sized slice of podcasting know-how. We're here to connect Victorian podcasters. Whether you're just starting, a seasoned pro, or stuck in the one day I will phase, stop dreaming and dive in. Join our email list or hop onto our Facebook and LinkedIn groups for updates, resources, and a supportive community. Because podcasting is better when we do it together. Vic Podcasters is proudly produced on Wadawurrung land. This is part 2 of our 2-part mini-series about audience engagement, or listener-watcher engagement, however way you want to phrase this, or however I put this in the title. Apologies for everyone who clicks on the podcast episodes and then listens to the title and they're not necessarily gelling the same. I come up with the episodes after I've recorded, because titles and SEO is something that I'm still working on and I'm not great at, but thank you for coming along with the ride with me. So listener engagement. Consistency beats perfection. For you as the person who is the producer, the host, the team helping someone create a podcast and create it consistently, more than just say 3 to 4 episodes, you need to pick a release schedule and you need to stick to it. If it's weekly, fortnightly, monthly, whatever it is, it's your call. All I ask is that you don't ghost, because your listeners will too. They'll stop subscribing, they'll stop trying to engage, because yes, life happens and we totally understand. And we have a podcast, episode 22, all about ghosting that and how to get back into the swing of things. But to beat that schedule slide, as I like to call it, what I recommend doing is batching your episodes. And if you've got smaller, shorter, sharper episodes, it is going to be a lot easier to do than the longer form episodes. It helps you keep your sanity, helps you record ahead whenever you can. And in those events that say, for example, you only record, say, 2 or 3 podcasts in that one session, you can use the first one and maybe the second one. And then the third one is a safety, just in case you cannot make it that week, or you can't make it to the podcast episode that you need to release. The point is you have a bunch in the can, as they say in the film world, so that you can plan time off and communicate it effectively. When it comes to audience engagement, having an episode flow where you're repeatedly doing the same sort of structure really helps nail things for your audience and keeps them engaged, because people like familiarity, but also a little bit of uniqueness, a little bit of je ne sais quoi. This can be done with your intros, with your hooks, music, and different segments that you have. Maybe even with musical stings in between those things. As I mentioned, it is familiar and comforting, but it also keeps people engaged with the next thing that you're going to do. And you can use the opportunity to build that trust and lower the what is this confusion when people are listening to your podcast. Because usually when your listeners listen to your podcast, you are part of usually a couple of podcasts, depending on how long your podcast is. So in that event, they usually pair you up with a line or a sequence of other podcasters. So as long as people can hear your voice and recognize that it's you and be ready, hey, I really enjoy this podcast, and get engaged for it, that is what's going to keep them engaged long term. And with your episodes, make sure you end with a bang, with a call to action, a teaser for the next episode, or a personal sign-off that reminds them that what they've been listening to, and to remember to listen to next time. Give them something to come back to, because that's what podcasting is for, to build a community and to keep people engaged, hopefully. Vic Podcasters was brought to you by the Video Confidence Coach. That's me, emboldening women and non-binary superstars with killer video marketing strategies, empowering them to show up, stand out, and smash their goals. And the last thing I want to touch on regarding listener engagement is your engagement of your listeners is a two-way street. Help by building a community off-platform, because there isn't exactly any way to comment or to have a two-way conversation on a podcasting platform or an RSS feed. You need to be able to build either a Facebook group, an email list, DMs, maybe have a social media presence. Whatever is easy for you that allows you to answer questions in episodes and share responses later will help keep those people engaged, because they want to hear from you. But also, what is something that is also special? Hearing their username or hearing their name, or maybe their question that they asked you read out loud and you answering the question, that keeps people engaged. Having shout outs, Q&As, or even voice notes. Their voice equals their buy-in. Now that you've completed this 2-part mini-series, what I want you to do is to review your podcast episode schedule. Is it realistic? Is it something that you can do with the amount of time and energy and life going on that you have? And if not, maybe make a change and also communicate that change with your listener. Maybe build a listener call out into your next episode segments so that you're able to get people engaged. And make sure that you join Vic Podcasters if you haven't yet. Speaking of callbacks, I want to call back to a previous episode of ours, episode 9, how often should I release new episodes? Because as you can imagine, this question does come up a lot. And I want to be able to give you the answer in another podcast that you can listen to right after this one, if you've lined it up correctly. That's a wrap. Remember, we're here every week to share quick tips, updates, and the occasional bad joke. Feeling inspired? Good. Now hit record, or go to the show notes of this episode for a backstage pass experience of the Victorian podcasting scene. The Vic Podcasters would like to acknowledge and pay our respects to the Wadawurrung people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional custodians on the land on which we work, live, and play. We pay our respects to their elders past and present. We stand with the traditional custodians of these lands in working towards a more equal future. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. And remember, podcasting doesn't have to be a solo gig.